This time, on Whatever We Want, we talk about
Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. Spoilers, major, huge, big spoilers ahead. There are time codes down in the description. If you'd like to jump around to different points in the episode, we talk everything from the music selection to how this is actually a giant ad for DC. We're also joined by our good friend and Guardians of the Galaxy expert, Pat. Enjoy! Welcome back to Whatever We Want. We review content across all memes and media, movies, TV shows, video games, and beyond to give you the most interesting behind-the-scenes insights, storytelling techniques, all that jazz, and more.
You go over everything from Disney, DC, Marvel, Pixar. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Boosh, here we are, main segment. But first, we got to introduce Pat. Pat, welcome back, longtime friend of the podcast. How are you doing?
Doing great. Just woke up, got a shower. I'm feeling refreshed. Decorated my room, as you can see, with the two vinyls sitting on the shelf back there. So, you know, I'm taken seriously today.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, when Pat joined, I thought he was in like some generic office corporate bathroom because he was blocking like his shelf behind him. So it's just like a white wall. And I think the breaker behind you, I thought that was like a paper towel dispenser. That's why I thought it was like, like at first glance, I was like, what? Where are you? But
no, yeah. I was telling them I don't get like, you know, LA's expensive. So I get like X amount of spending cash a month. So I'm like trying to budget how much I spend on decorations. So my room isn't fully decorated yet. It's kind of just white walls.
That's very frugal of you. But until then, I'll just keep thinking you live in a bathroom in some office. But yeah, so Pat is joining us for our Guardians episode because he is our resident Guardian expert. We had you on, I think the first time you were on was our first Araswa over 100 episodes ago when we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. And we were going to have you on Guardians 2. I don't think we ever did Guardians 2 or got to that part in our rewatch.
Actually, come to think of it,
so.
I don't think you did,
It's weird.
Yeah. I'm not just saying that like, oh, we never got there. Like, not like we didn't invite you. Like, we actually just didn't get there in the rewatch. I think we just moved on to like Loki because I think that started coming out or something. But yeah, so we all saw Guardians 3. That's what we're talking about. All right, so what did you think overall, Pat, of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I love it. I love it, man.
I thought that was like, didn't live up to the hype. I was like, what?
No,
That's
it
not
was
what
great.
you texted me.
I was
just completely
I was
blindsided me.
you.
That would be so funny.
Completely gaslighting you in the DMs.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was amazing. I love the Guardians. I saw the first one, I think, 6 times in theaters when it first came out. And I was like, because my thing was, I wasn't like big into Marvel at that time, but I was a huge WWE fan growing up. So I saw like,
so Dave Bautista.
Yeah, he was like my favorite wrestler when I was growing up. So I saw he was in a movie, and I was like, oh yeah, like this would be awesome. Like Dave Bautista's gonna act, and I saw it and was just blown away by just the sheer presentation of it. And I was like, well, I'm a Marvel guy now. And then,
interesting. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, who would have thought Dave Bautista's the reason like I wore the Infinity Gauntlet to prom, you know?
Wow, that's such an interesting cause and effect.
Loved it. I thought the music was excellent. I'm a big music and movies guy. And when Creep is one of my favorite songs, and when it opened with the acoustic
I've been
cover,
singing that all morning.
I was like jiggling in my seat. I got home and my roommate was like, oh, how was the movie? And we have like a Google Home. So I was like, Google, play Creep acoustic cover.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that as soon as this is done. I'm gonna go just jam to Creep. I think the only one in the apartment right now. I'm just gonna blast it.
I'm gonna do it before I got on the call. Like it's such a good cover, but
yeah. Daniel, what did you think of it overall?
I thought it was terrible. It was amazing movie. Dude, it was, oh man. Because I kept on like thinking back to Guardians 2, and like Guardians 2 was okay. It wasn't necessarily my favorite Marvel movie.
I really liked Guardians 2. I don't know what
it was fun, but it was my favorite. But this one was such a different vibe. It felt so much more, not only like the original one in that sense, but like
it was like raw emotion. Like
it was just
the
raw.
Other two
It was
like
raw.
More just complete funny. This was like we're wrapping it up and like we're gonna pull your heartstrings, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, dude, it was amazing in that sense.
I was just thinking like overall, it's so interesting that like 3-4 years ago, James Gunn was fired from this. Like,
yeah, true.
Right.
That's crazy. Like, what would this have looked like? Would this have even come out had he not been rehired? Like, that would have been a completely different movie, completely different like narrative, just like outside the movie itself. Like, I think we'd be so upset. Like, if James Gunn didn't come back and do this, like, that's so crazy. How much has changed in like that time period.
It's like we would have gotten a completely different movie probably. Like I like to think like what director could have even attempted doing
I don't
what
know.
like picking it up. Like it was such a beloved franchise, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think he's like the only one that has been like canceled, but then came back so strong. I mean, people were always saying that like he's saving the MCU and now DCEU. So like,
Is
like,
it the DCEU? What?
No,
didn't they
sorry,
change the
I
name?
think it's just the
No.
DCU now.
Yeah, DCU.
Deku.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Q. No.
The
They,
Q.
you know, they got their whole thing anyway. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like people are saying it all over now. And it's just like this is just more proof to the pudding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want to say, going to this, my experience, I saw this in 3D, and I didn't know I was seeing it in 3D. Like, my roommates, like, scheduled the screening, and they were like, yeah, we're just going to go to this one. I was like, I just need to see it Thursday, like, or Friday. Like, I just need to see it before I record the podcast. And they were like, all right. So they got Thursday, and I just, like, I have AMC Stubs A-list. Weird flex. But they, like, invited me through the app, and I just, like, clicked accept, and I didn't look at it. And then when I walked in, they were like, they scanned my thing, and they're like, here are your 3D glasses. And I was like, oh, okay. And, like, I don't usually see movies in 3D, and I was like, all right, cool. It didn't really like change anything. Like I didn't really notice it except for like 2 instances. It was when they're drilling into the like fleshy planet and there's like bits of like flesh floating in space. At that point I was like, oh, that's cool. There's like they're like in different depth. That's cool. And then the only other time was in the hallway fight, which I want to deep dive into.
Yeah.
Was when they went through the body. I was like, that was sick. 3D. I'm in the body.
Like, this is movies.
Yeah.
Movies are back.
Tom Cruise. It was so funny. We saw the Fast X trailer before this movie, and like I'm not a Fast and Furious guy at all, but like my roommate beside me, Michael, was he was like going like, yeah, Fast and Furious, like just like as a joke, because he's also not a Fast and Furious guy. So then anytime anything hype happened for any other trailer or in the movie, we would just go like, yeah, and like when that happened, we were like, yeah.
Speaking of the trailers, I saw this on Twitter last night. Somebody at their screening for Guardians 3, they accidentally played the Transformers trailer with the Little Mermaid
I
trailer.
said that.
Jake
to
sent that
Daniel.
to me, dude.
I sent that. It looked so hype.
It was
awesome.
so dope, dude.
Yeah,
and like the timing was perfect.
They
in some
overlaid.
spots.
It was Transformers, and which one was it? The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, those 2 trailers
Yeah.
like
Part
played
of
at
your
the same
world
time.
playing.
That's so freaking crazy.
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
see that. Now I'm gonna be disappointed in both of those movies because they're not gonna be that trailer.
Like this is
Oh my god.
marketing that both movies have done individually. Like,
Yeah, honestly.
it's exciting. Yeah.
All right, so I think we should dive into some of the characters and just talk about some of the beats and I don't know bits from it. I mean, I feel like this was Raccoon's story. Rocket Raccoon. I love that moment. Oh my gosh. I loved how much they dived into him. Like this was his movie, like his origin. Yeah, what do you guys think of Rocket's portrayal?
I really liked it. I kind of thought it was horrific, honestly.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like Sid from Toy Story 1. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
grew up and like went to space. It was super freaky. The bunny with like the little spider feet with the mouth.
Yeah, I
Floor.
know.
Oh my god.
Oh, like sent chills down my spine. I didn't like
Don't
that.
you mean floor? Excuse me.
Yeah. I thought it was horrifying, and I thought, who's the guy who played the High Evolutionary? I keep forgetting his name.
Oh gosh, I'll look it up.
Okay, he was surreal. He not surreal, like he wasn't necessarily.
I am not even gonna try to pronounce his name. It's a
Fair.
very unique name, but
Fair.
yeah, that actor.
I
was
remember
also
he was
Peacemaker.
in Peacemaker. Yeah, he was really good in that too. But he was
Very
just
different,
like,
but yeah.
very, yeah. He wasn't necessarily like, I don't want to say like a good villain, but I saw like someone on Twitter was like the way that he just like kind of like walks and would like move around was just so
Yeah.
off-putting and offsetting.
Yeah,
And like him like giving it his all to that character, it made him a very interesting villain. But that's the thing with like the Guardians movies is that it's not like a villain focused like good versus evil type thing. It's more
Right.
like that's just the journey that the characters take, and then the actual plot is the characters themselves developing. So
very well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of the time, the Guardians movies, like the villains kind of get pushed to the back burner, but he really like stood out for me in this one. I loved him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Really well said.
I completely agree. I wanted to do this later, but we can talk about it now. I want you guys to rank the Guardians villains. I have my list because I was thinking about this, but I want to hear what you guys say before I spoil anything.
Quill's mom, number 1. 'cause
What?
She left him.
She died. What do you mean?
I know. Just kidding.
Oh my
Why'd
gosh.
you have to go and get cancer? I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry, that was out of pocket.
Well, here's the thing. I love Kurt Russell is the problem.
Yeah.
I'm a huge like Escape from New York fan. That's like one of my favorite movies. So I'm like, I kind of feel biased, but going one, two, three, High Evolutionary.
Really?
I
Wow.
really liked him, dude. I thought he was
Yeah.
awesome. I do. Oh, Ronan's so cool. I don't know. I think Ronan was knocked down a few pegs because the guy I work with is called Ronan, and he's like a super chill, nice guy, and that really removed all of the intimidating
Oh
like
wow.
bits of Ronan. I'm like, no, that Ronan's a cool
He
name.
just comes in the office one day with a hammer.
I know. I got like when I got the job, I got a call. It's like, hey, this is Ronan. I'm like,
You're
what?
like, oh shoot, I don't have the power stone.
Like pull up my blasters, call up my
Yeah.
raccoon buddy. Like,
You just walk in with a random like diseased raccoon. Like, all right, I'm ready.
you know what? On second thought, there's one I'm putting Ronan at number one, and there's a specific
What?
reason.
Oh my gosh.
When the specific reason is when he's like about to destroy Xandar, and then he just starts like Star-Lord starts dancing. He's like, "Dance off, bro, me and you." What's his name? Who plays him?
Oh, the actor like in the blooper you're talking about?
Yeah, it's not in the blooper, but the actor who plays Ronan. Is it Lee
Oh,
something?
Lee Pace.
Lee
Yeah.
Pace, yeah, Lee Pace who
Yeah.
plays him, just like looks at him and goes, it's like a complete character shift for his line. He just goes, "What are you doing?" Like it was just so goofy. And I'm like, that's funny.
So
But,
that moment, he's number one.
just for that was a great bit of acting. I say Ronan, High Evolutionary, and then Ego. But that's nothing against my one true love, Kurt
Wow.
Russell. Nothing against Kurt
That
Russell.
is like almost the opposite of my list.
Really? You're putting Ego first?
I think I'm putting. This is my thought process. I think Ronan is a great villain because he was the reason the Guardians of the Galaxy got together, but he's like kind of a pussy because like Thanos just like steps on him the whole time.
Yeah.
And like I think the other two villains, High Evolutionary and Ego, had such a personal connection with the Guardians that Ronan didn't have. But that was like fine for Ronan because that wasn't his purpose. His purpose was to get the team together. It would have been weird if like he was getting the team together and he was like Quill's dad. Like that wouldn't have worked in that story. So I think the other two, because they had the team was established and they had such personal connections with the heroes, like it was that much more meaningful. So like I have Ronan last just because of that. I'm glad he got the team together, but I think the emotional connections the other two villains had is elevating the other two. And I had High Evolutionary. Maybe if I would sit with him more, it might rise above Ego, but like Ego's a planet, dude. That's sick. Like, come on. They're fighting a planet that's Kurt Russell. And he turns into David Hasselhoff. Like, what the heck? You can't beat that.
I forgot he turns into David Hasselhoff.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
honestly.
Yes, that's my ranking. Daniel?
Oh man, you guys are really dividing me now because you both have such good logic. I was just originally siding with Pat. I'm like, yes, that's all right. I was honestly,
my logic was silly line made me laugh.
that makes sense.
Well, no, I would have
Daniel, are you gonna agree with someone who has an apartment or someone who's in a bathroom in an office?
Oh.
Right now?
I'm in my apartment. In my finals.
He just brings the vinyls and like sits them on a toilet back there.
I read like the track list. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, just some light reading
God.
on the can.
But no, I was actually I was thinking about it. I was going to put the High Evolutionary actually first.
Okay.
And I feel like he kind of combines what you're both saying there, to where like he's not Rocket's dad, obviously, but he's like, you know,
He's kind of his dad.
he kind of is his dad in like a
creator.
weird, twisted, evil, maniacal way. But then at the same time, it really did, I feel like, bring all the Guardians together in this one in a way that we haven't seen before. And the first one is all about sacrifice. I mean, we saw the tropes of sacrifice that each Guardian made throughout the first film. In this one, it was similar but in a different way because it was more about family, you know?
For those, I don't know if we explained this to audio listeners. We're like smashing our hands together in like an X formation. I think that would have been really confusing if I didn't say it. Just hear,
Yeah, true.
That's what when we make that noise. That's what's happening.
But no, like this was more about like understanding family, like what it means, right? And at the end of the day, I think it was really just awesome to see how Rocket was able to also feel comfortable with himself as he's coming to terms with everything that was going on with his past and where he wanted to go in the future.
I thought something that like kind of supports your point. I've always been worried that like whenever a movie like does flashbacks, that it's going to feel out of place. Like, why didn't they bring this up in the first 2 movies? But this one did not feel out of place at all, because in the first 2 movies, it's been a plot point that like Rocket doesn't want to talk about his past because it's so traumatic. So now we're finally exploring that. It felt not like that's where this didn't come up. It more felt like this is a huge payoff we've been waiting 2 movies for. So
yeah, exactly.
I liked that in that sense. Yeah.
In that case, second, I'm going to be putting Ego with Jake's logic.
Yeah. Take that, bathroom boy.
And then Ronan, I'm sorry, you're a funny boy, but you know, yeah.
Okay.
You got.
Interesting.
You're also agree with Jake with him being a little puss boy getting stepped on.
Yeah. He was good though.
Yeah.
He served his purpose. All right. Let's dive into. We talked about Rocket a bit, and we'll talk about Rocket throughout the whole thing. What else? Is there anything we want to talk about with Rocket? I think it's just awesome how much James Gunn made me care about these little CG creatures. Like, that was awesome. Freaking Lila. Spoilers for this whole thing. We're gonna put a spoiler warning at the beginning, but big spoiler: when Lila got shot in the back, I didn't see it coming, and I don't know why I didn't, because I think in the trailer there was that shot where like her and Rocket like hug, and I think I saw a breakdown where someone predicted that like it was them reuniting in the future. And so I just made that connection in my head, even though literally 2 shots before she got shot was that shot. And I recognized it was that shot. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the hug shot. But I still in my head was like, they're going to meet up later. They're going to reunite. And then she got shot and I was like, what? Like, that's not supposed to happen. Oh, it really got me.
No, I always knew she was going to be dead. She was a goner from the get.
I had a mixed thought process like both of you. I was like in the same thought of Jake, like, oh yeah, like the hug shot. We're still waiting on the hug shot. As soon as I saw them hug, I'm like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Yeah. Fantastic storytelling that I care about.
Linda
this
Cardellini,
otter.
doubling down with Marvel. Double dipping.
Yeah. Dang.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I knew she was going to be dead. Now, I didn't like log the hug shot like you guys did apparently, but it just made, not only did it make sense for how they were doing it for the cinematic universe, but it's also plays in the Rocket's origins in the comics pretty short, because like they do escape. I don't think she gets shot in the back, but she does get like killed. And I think they also did that too in the Guardians games as well. They like redid that in the Guardians game.
Yeah. She keeps dying.
Yeah.
Really good game. Really good game.
It's like Uncle
She's
Ben.
Rocket's Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's a very good game also.
I haven't played it. I've seen like a lot of gameplay from it, but I just have not had the time to dive into it.
Dude, what if Uncle Ben came up in Rocket's like heaven scene when like Lila's there? It's just it like she's like, and our friends are here too, and it's like Teeth, Floor, and Uncle Ben is just beside him.
Who would you want to play Uncle Ben?
Oh my gosh. Well, who's Marissa Tomei was Aunt May, so who would she? Robert Downey Jr.
I feel like John Hamm. Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh, John Hamm. John Hamm, yeah.
It's solely because I just watched the Black Christmas episode of Black Mirror.
What about Jason Sudeikis?
Jason Sudeikis. He's just Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Rocket, you're going to love it up here.
Who plays Schmidt? Or that could be... Wait. What about Jake Johnson? Like, because he plays the Spider-Man in Spider-Verse. That could be a cool connection, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
I don't know.
That's the only connection they get to the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Like, universe. Actually, just a spoiler for Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. It's like, yeah, he actually dies in that. We're just, like, proactively letting you know.
Gosh.
Jeez.
It'd be funny if it's like not even Jake Johnson. It's just like his animated character just pops up. But yeah, did they ever explain why Rocket was the only creature that could like have pure invention? Like because they were like, he's so special. He's the only one that has pure thought and like pure invention. That's why they need his brain. Did they ever explain like why he's the only one that has that?
I just kind of assumed he was built different.
Literally,
like, he's
built
different. Just him. He's just I'm him. Like,
but to be fair, I don't think there really was a need to explain it, because like that's the whole point of the high evolution. Like they're trying to figure it out, so they can't explain it if they don't know. You know what I mean? So they just know that he can. So it's just. Like,
I thought there were a few like those like white coat scientist people kind of like glance at each other, like maybe they did something when he was like some extra experiments, but maybe I misread that. I don't know. Yeah, I can already imagine the the scene in Guardians 1 when Rocket like gets drunk and is like, I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over, and he like opens up. I think I've already started seeing like those angsty TikTok edits where they're like now cutting in footage from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, like really sad. Yeah.
Oh like in the corner it says like try with CapCut, like
try this template. Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, we talked about Rocket, High Evolutionary a bit. I also wanted to mention that like Star-Lord kept saying like it's not a trap, it's a face-off, and the High Evolutionary's face was ripped off, so it was a face-off.
I love Face Off, great movie with Nick Cage.
Yeah. What if he took the mask off and it was just like John Travolta? Like just
I think I would have given this movie 5 stars if that happened. If they made a Face Off reference, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah. All right. What did you guys think of Earth 2? That whole thing. Or what was Counter Earth? That was it.
Oh, yeah, Counter Earth. It made me think of Earth 2 from the one Spider-Man animated series, to where it was kind of like that. It was Spider-Man Unlimited.
Oh, I never finished that one.
There's like a portal that opens up Jake, and then they're able to go to like to Earth 2, and like actually, I think they have the High Evolutionary there as well. Actually, it's a different version of him, and then he's making all the different animal creatures. So actually, yeah, it's a weird tangent there. I never thought about.
Dang.
Super cool.
So maybe I knew that. That's why I said Earth 2. I didn't misremember. I wanted to spark that. Yeah. What did you think of Counter Earth, Pat, and all that?
I kind of thought Counter Earth was just like, I didn't think like anything too special of it. I thought it was a very interesting kind of inventive setting to take place in. Oh, was that CGI? That wasn't CGI. That was practical for like all of the people, right?
I think for most of the people, yeah.
I think it looked pretty practical.
It looked pretty practical, and I like that. It reminded me of you guys seen this show? It's on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but it's a dating show where they get people in like that kind of makeup.
What?
And like they go on dates.
What?
Like they don't know each other's first names. Like they know like the Fox guy as Fox and like the Octopus woman as Octopus. And they go on dates and they try to fall in love with each other, like just as personalities, and then they take all the makeup off.
Interesting.
So I'm just watching it and I'm like, this is the makeup team from that show absolutely like was on this.
I'm imagining it's a case of Beauty and the Beast where like once they turn back into like the human, they're like, oh, like I kind of fell in love with this like kind of this octopus here.
Yeah, right.
Now you look like a dude.
Like go back, please go back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was a very nostalgic kind of place though. I had like the very tail end of like the 90s 2000s vibe, you know, like all that kind of like grunge music and all that, and just like the like wedding picture table. You know, I had like the tail end of that. So I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of my childhood a bit. Like a nice suburban neighborhood.
Right. Yeah, there were some funny moments like with the car, the first F-bomb in the MCU.
Yeah. It's a great F-bomb too.
Yeah.
It was just so casually said.
Yeah.
It made me like think less of the High Evolutionary, because I'm like, he's trying to make the perfect society and he got like Jersey. Like,
oh my gosh.
Just go to Newark. Like.
That's why he blew it up, which is like freaking insane.
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
that's another point for the High Evolutionary as like a higher villain.
The only thing I agree with.
That's what you agree with, is that he blew up a planet, Daniel?
Jersey.
What?
He blew up Jersey.
Still. What if maybe they just landed in Jersey? There could be like some really nice places like in other parts, or just it's the whole planet is Jersey.
Maybe we could say Ohio. I don't know. I feel like that means.
Oh my gosh, you're just
strong.
Alienating states. I'm sorry to any New Jerseyans or Ohioans. I don't know.
I don't like Jersey. The only thing I like about New Jersey is The Sopranos. That's it.
Yeah.
Great show, but yeah.
I mean, this whole planet and him blowing it up just really kind of solidified the High Evolutionaries, like, just does not care regard. He views himself as a guy just playing with, like, so many lives. It's crazy.
And that's kind of like, I love this about the villain. Like, he wasn't winning really ever throughout the story. He was just, he was losing, and he was like, screw it, full nuclear. We're going all in. And it was like, I don't know, I kind of like that. Like, the villain was losing and just got desperate. And it was less about like the heroes versus the villains and more the heroes versus time. Like, it was a nice change.
Yeah, because he's usually, I mean, not he, like, villains usually, I feel like, like, have a plan, and they've been planning for a while, and they're like, I think he like his plan. He's been implementing it and was like on track, but then like Rocket, he just got so tunnel visioned and it kind of derailed him, and like we saw that descent into madness, which was pretty cool. All right, let's jump into some other characters. So we've got Star-Lord / Peter Quill. I thought he was gonna die at the end there when he went into space.
Thought so too.
Agreed.
And I just realized that in every Guardians movie, he's been almost frozen in space.
Yeah.
Because like in the first one when he saves Gamora, the second one when he and Yondu go up into space, he like starts, and then in this one at the end here,
He's building up a resistance, you know.
Yeah.
When his face like exploded, I was like, oh, he's dead.
I was like, he's done. Yeah.
I really thought they were gonna do like the full space death where his head actually goes like, and I was like, no, like that's too much.
There was a bit of gore in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I dug it. What happened to like his like face thing?
That's what I heard someone say. Like where I was trying to think like maybe he just didn't have it on or gave it to someone else. I don't know.
That's my favorite thing about him.
I have no idea. I thought Rocket was gonna die. Well, you just reminded me because I thought maybe he gave it to someone else. But like when Nebula was like, "Give me your comm thing," and like Rocket threw his comm away. I was like, "What are you doing?"
As soon as she said that, I was like, "Oh, well, I better start getting ready. He's dead."
Yeah. I'm surprised no one died. Actually, like. Yeah. I mean, besides like that whole the Jersey planet, but like the main characters did die.
Oh my god.
Wait, sorry. I just want to say this is a big month for Chris Pratt. This and Mario, like, dude's doing numbers.
I still haven't seen Mario. I still need to go out and see it.
What? Have you seen it, Pat?
Yeah, it made me tear up because I'm a big Mario guy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, when I got home, I played Mario Galaxy for like the first time since I was 6, and I was like, "This is
wow,
nice."
But we're not here to talk about Mario.
Yeah, we're talking about another successful Chris Pratt movie. I really liked how like Quill, this story was focused on him like dealing with losing Gamora, but it's like so interesting, like that plot device where like she's back, but it's not her. Like that's such a weird thing to deal with in loss, and it's a different version of her. And I'm really glad they didn't just like fold Gamora back into things and like they just like kind of did like I think it worked in Loki where they caught him up to speed by like watching memories, but I'm glad they didn't do that with Gamora where they just like talked to her and then she was like, oh yeah, I bet you guys are cool, I'll just be basically the same Gamora. Like I'm glad they didn't do that, and like that she really resisted. And I think it's cool that she found like a family within the Ravagers. Like at the end when they like celebrated when she was back, I was like, oh, she has found a family, and that's what she wanted in both timelines. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
it was just so dope. It was like, you know, it felt real, not like the Hollywood happy ending that everyone always kind of clamors for. But it was like, it was a good, proper ending. All the characters kind of went their separate ways.
Yeah.
And he's coming back. Star-Lord's coming back, apparently.
I'm surprised. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be like a Disney Plus short where it's like they were alluding to it where he's like mowing the lawn. I want it to be a Disney Plus short where he's like, I actually like thought about this all. I was like, what would that look like? Like he's back on Earth. He has to mow the lawn. He's going to be listening to modern music and be very upset with how it's progressed. I want him just to be like raging at like, and just be like an old man, like music didn't used to be like this when I left Earth. And I'm also thinking like, if he I want him to like try to get a real job. I've really thought about like this Disney Plus short, but like I want him to like try to get a real job, but like he just struggles because he has no like Earth marketable skills for like normal jobs. And like no one knows he was like a Guardian of the Galaxy because he wasn't in the Avengers. The only time he was on Earth was for Tony Stark's funeral and the Endgame battle. So like no one knows who he is. So he's just like a normal guy. And they'll be like, why do you have no prior like work experience? Like it was just be like, I don't know. Like I think that could be really funny.
It's like him in a job interview. They're like, all right, so your last job was a paper route in 1982.
So what have you done with all the time since then? What's been going on? You just get like a whole montage.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what relevant skills he could say for like a Guardians thing that could apply to like a real job.
He knows how to work with a team. He knows how to
problem
lead. Problem solving.
He doesn't know colors very well with like the chin. That was so funny. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's also, I think, have you guys seen the video where like they're talking about Chris Pratt had like a fake body, like when Nebula's came and then like they came in and screamed.
Chris was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? They'd come in and scream.
I saw one that I really liked was someone was like, oh, so in Guardians 1, the Collector describes the the Infinity Stones and like kind of sets the stage for the rest of the MCU. Like
James Gunn wrote that in an hour.
James Gunn's like, dude, I wrote it in an hour and a half, and I didn't realize it was going to dictate the rest of the MCU for the next decade.
Yeah,
that's
that
crazy.
Is crazy.
So funny.
All right, moving on from Star-Lord, we've got Adam Warlock as well.
I thought it was a really unique take that they did on him. That was
he
pretty
like
funny.
A half-baked Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
I love him.
Not all there. But yeah, I like that they gave him a second chance. I thought the first battle, like in the very beginning with him versus all the Guardians, was sick. Like, and it was cool. Like they weren't like working as a team; they were kind of going one by one. Drax, I felt like held his own for a while against Adam Warlock. I was like, Drax, all right. I don't know. I liked because I think some people were upset that like he was kind of more like a comic relief, not like the main villain. Which I guess if you're going in with the expectation that like he's going to be one of the main villains, that would be a little upsetting. But I didn't mind it like at all, really.
He didn't take like a main stage seat because he's all powerful Adam Warlock. I love how he wasn't like the solution to the high evolutionary problem, and that's like the Guardians games. Do you guys mind if I spoil like the story of that?
No, go for it.
No, you're good.
The Soul Stone takes like the negative part of Adam Warlock and makes like a copy of him called Magus.
Nega Chin.
Nega Chin. But
oh my god,
the whole game is like getting Adam Warlock to defeat Magus, like to battle him.
Okay.
And so they do, and they win. But then like Magus like takes over Adam Warlock, and it's up to the Guardians then to do it, and they somehow pull it off. And I'm like, I like that. How like you have this all powerful being, but he's not like the reason why you win. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like the is it not Deus Ex Machina, but just kind of like the fail safe. Like of course we get Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
I kind of like that he did take the backseat in this, and Will Poulter was really funny as him.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
He, I loved him just with carrying that creature around like that. He took him in as a pet, but also like when he fights like the giant like war pig thing, and then like rips his head off. He's like carrying the pig around for like
why is he holding it?
Very long time. I was like, why is he carrying that? It was really funny.
So goofy.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah. And then I like how he kind of came around at the end. We talked about Gamora a bit. I wanted to mention about Gamora when I was like very worried when she and Adam Warlock were like on the ship battling, and she was like carrying Rocket. She was like lugging him around. I was like, I was like he's really injured. Like you gotta be careful here.
She like folds him the wrong way as she's carrying him, and it's just like, oh well, directed by George Lucas, I guess. Like,
I guess, yeah. And then Sylvester Stallone was also in this. Like, that was really fun. I saw that in the opening credits. Like, Sylvester Stallone. I was like, what? And like, I just thought that was funny. He was back. That was cool. I wonder how much he got paid for this.
Yeah. The thing I love about James Gunn movies is like picking out all of the James Gunn's friends.
Yeah.
And just being like, yep, I figured you'd be in this. Like Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
so
dude.
funny in this.
Oh my god. We have one of those guys too. Like,
yeah, I get it. We got one of those guys too. And he's like, within earshot, he's like, he sucks, dude.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
We have one of those guys too, Pat and Daniel. I'm just kidding.
The Whatever We Want podcast has one of those guys.
You think I'm stupid?
All right, I want to talk about Nebula. I really liked Nebula in this. Like, I think her arc over all three Guardians films and just over the MCU, out of the Guardians cast, I think is my favorite. Like, I really liked her in this. What'd you guys think of her?
I loved this moment with her specifically whenever like they save Rocket and they get in touch with Nebula and them. And she hears Rocket's voice and is just silent. I got like chills in the theater. I'm getting chills thinking about it now. I'm like,
Same.
that was awesome.
I literally, this is literally the next note I have, Pat, is my favorite moment of all of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was that small moment where they heal Rocket, and then towards the end of the movie, like he comes over the comms and is like, it says like he's back, and once Nebula like realizes that, she like breaks down and like has to take a moment to like regather herself, and when she realized that Rocket was like okay. And I think it shows how far both of them have come, because like they both were kind of the two characters that I think were like pushing people away the most out of the whole cast, and it also like in Guardians 2 they were the two that were kind of back at the ship, and so I think that adds to a little bit of their relationship and how they kind of bonded during that time, and I guess beyond into now. But like it just means so much that the bond they've both built, and I loved that moment, that her acting was so good there, and that was my favorite moment of the whole movie, honestly, when Nebula breaks down for a minute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because she's just so guarded all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love just like good silence in a movie.
Yes.
Like it can be used in so many ways.
Especially today, in today's day and age of TikTok, like retention and like no dead moments. Like it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
One of the notes that one of my Disney professors had when I was learning animation, because it's very important in animation when you're trying to actually portray characters when they're doing, whether it be an emotive motion, like action scene or something like that, or like really anything, is you need to have your thinking moments. And that was like, and that could be in reference to like them like logically like thinking like, hey, I just did this thing, how am I going to react to it? Or it's going to be a thing of emotionally
like an emotional beat.
And that was like a perfect example of it. So
yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, Pat. Did you guys think? I thought there could have been a little bit. I don't know if this was. Hold on, this is gonna sound weird, especially after I was just like they bonded, like camaraderie. But like, I think there could have been a little bit of a romance between Nebula and Rocket potentially. I don't know if it was maybe it wasn't romance. Like maybe it was just like camaraderie, like teammates bonding kind of thing. But like there were a few times like when she broke down, but also when like they split off towards the end. He's like, all right, Neb and I are going to go steer the ship. I was like, Neb? Neb, you got a little cute nickname for her, Rocket? I see you. Like, where'd that come? I've never heard her called Neb, and she didn't say anything. Like, don't call me. She was like, all right, I'm going with Rocket. Like, I was like, whoa, okay. I'm here for that. I don't know.
She's like, I'm going with my coon, you know?
I don't know. Do you guys think there could have been a romance there, or am I just reading into something that's not there?
I
think you are a little bit.
Okay.
I would say if anything, it'd be more like a brother or sisterly kind of thing.
Yeah,
but that's also more because of like the trauma and like the stuff that they've both kind of went through in a similar facet in that way.
All right, what's the ship name? Nebkit or Rockula? Rockula. It's got to be Rockula.
It's Rockula.
All right, now I have to ship it because it's such a cool name.
Sick.
Oh
That's
my
dope.
gosh, Rockula. Speaking of cool names, we've got Giga Chad Groot in this film.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then, like at the end, like in the mid credit scene where he's just like a massive monster.
He was freaking gargantuan. I really liked him in this. He kind of like took a bit of a backseat and maybe some previous films, but just totally fine. He said, "I love you guys" at the end. I thought, my roommate
I was like,
thought he was gonna say like, "You guys are my family," and then we would have been like, "Yeah, Vin Diesel."
Oh, that would have been so funny.
Yeah.
Getting Vin Diesel to say family.
That's the only note I had for Groot. Do you guys have any other Groot thoughts? Anything stand out?
I like the subtle small moment whenever the High Evolutionary comes like back into his office and Groot's just standing there and just stares at him for a moment and then just jumps out the window.
He's like,
It made me laugh really hard in the theater.
That was cool when they like glided down.
I was like, are they waiting for the ship to like come pick them up? Because I'm like, that's not a good plan. He grew the wings. I'm like, okay, I guess that could work.
That's a slightly better plan. Not great. It was really like Buzz Lightyear. He was falling with style.
And then he used the dude as a brake.
It's a really cool way to kill a guy is like using that guy as the brake mechanism. Just like,
yeah. Honestly.
I feel like his head would have been gone though. Like if this was R-rated, that like a Deadpool movie or something like that, he would just be.
Oh my gosh! Just speaking about the head, like in the hallway scene when like Nebula's like head gets just like knocked backwards.
Oh
and she's
yeah,
still
dude.
fighting.
I love that. I love that so much. I mean, we should probably talk about that scene, the one or no sleep.
Yeah, what do you guys think of No Sleep Till Brooklyn? Like as the music.
Huge Beastie Boys fan.
Oh yeah,
so
me
like.
Too.
They landed in the it was like the docking bay or whatever, the shipyard, and it just went just like started gripping the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm also a huge Beastie Boys fan. Like I have 2 CDs for my dad in my car, and that's it. And it's one of them is the Sugar Hill Gang, so I can listen to Rapper's Delight on loop, and then the other is just a Beastie Boys album. So I actually played the Beastie Boys album on the way home from Guardians with my roommate. We were like just jamming. But
Nice.
I like was kind of surprised they did No Sleep Till Brooklyn because I feel like Guardians is known for kind of doing like more obscure music than that. I feel like No Sleep Till Brooklyn is kind of like more mainstream. I didn't really mind it, but I was like, I don't know. I think Brass Monkey could have been cool. I don't know, you know. I don't know, but I still really liked it. Like it was a fantastic scene.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
The action in it was just surreal.
It just kept going.
Yeah, dude, it kept going. I was going to say that. Yeah.
It's those bits where everyone gets their moment to shine, kind of, and like
Yeah.
show like what they bring to the team. But it's also a very good kind of team up fight where they start like fighting with each other, just
Good
on a
choreography.
whim. Like
Yeah.
it's like, you know, Peter's fighting one person, and then all of a sudden, like bumps into Drax, they team up on someone, and then just
Yeah.
move on. Like it's
Yeah.
so fluid, and it just really shows that like over the years, the
They're a
Guardians have
team.
really gotten this down.
Yeah, because we haven't really seen
yeah.
that in like in the first movie. We got like that big moment, I guess, was like kind of the slow-mo walking scene, but they weren't like a huge team until like they all held hands at the end. But yeah, this one they were like, oh yeah, these guys are like a team. They know each other's like specialties and stuff, and even Gamora like fit in really well, and because like they still know her fighting style kind of thing. So yeah, that was cool.
Which even you bring it up, James Gunn does so many slow-mo walking scenes where it's just everyone walking towards the camera, and the song is an absolute banger in the background.
Every
time. Did it in the Suicide Squad, did it in Guardians 1, did it in Guardians 3. Did he do it in Guardians 2?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like they had to have. But I don't know though, because they did the slow-mo scene when they're walking out of the ship when like Rocket's upset. So it like wasn't the whole team. Like when they were about to go and split up the team and like go see Ego. So technically they were all slow-mo together, but like
and
they were
the
kind of
chain
like
was playing
at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
Daniel, did you have any other thoughts about did you guys have any thoughts about the hallway battle? I need to rewatch it again just to like process all the moments. I was just like,
because that's the thing. It was just again, like you said, it was nonstop. So like you'd like see like the action, like the specific character that's the focus, but then you also get like the little snippets of like what's going on in the back, and then when we did the transition, like you'd be able to follow and see like, oh, now that guy's taken care of because of that, and
when it went through the guy, oh my gosh,
oh my god, dude, it's so good. But no, come think of the camaraderie too that we were saying too, like right before then with the not right before, but when it was Quill and Groot with the face-off, you know, when he put out all the guns. It was also cool seeing that camaraderie there too, and like seeing like, man, like they got this like down. You know? So
that whole battle. We haven't talked about Drax and Mantis too much. I kind of lumped them together just because they were kind of like teamed up a lot in this movie, but like I like their relationship that's kind of evolved since Guardians 2 into the Guardians Holiday Special. I feel like they didn't take like a backseat on this one, but like I'm glad that they got their moment to shine in the Holiday Special.
Agreed.
Because that was cool. I do like that Drax, when Mantis goes off on her own at the end, like Drax kind of breaks down, and that shows that she's broken through and like means a lot to him. I really appreciated that. And then he freaking dances, dude. Like
I was gonna say, he dances. Like, oh my god.
His finale of like becoming a dad again. I loved that. Like that, because he was just so hung up on rage because he lost his daughter in like the first one. Like that is such a good full circle moment.
Just so good. It's great development across all three movies. The characters keep being challenged and they keep pushing through and persevering.
Yeah.
How can you not like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and Drax's comedy. Dave Bautista is so good as Drax with the comedy. Like, I mean, the lily pad, and he's like, he has a poop that looks like a fish. Like, even my poop is capable of creating
analogies.
Yeah.
Oh my Dave Bautista. This is a bit of an interesting story, I say. So I mentioned I'm a big WWE guy. They had. Do you guys know what the Royal Rumble is?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, the Royal Rumble, it happens every January, and what it is two men start in the ring, and then every, 5 minutes, another guy comes down, and you have to throw your opponent over the top rope into the floor, and when both feet hit the floor, they're eliminated, and last man standing wins a title shot at WrestleMania, all right? Dang. And so they came to Pittsburgh when I was a kid, so I was like, oh, I want to go see this. And it was announced Dave Bautista is going to be in the Royal Rumble, he's returning.
So
and Guardians was coming out that summer. So I was like,
gosh.
let's go. This is great. We get there, and the first match on the card was this guy, Daniel Bryan. And everyone in the crowd was behind him all the way. And I was like, this guy's kind of sick. All right. And Dave Bautista comes in the Rumble, and there's 30 men in the Rumble. We get to number 30, and everyone's starting to do chanting for Daniel Bryan to come out because he was white hot. Everyone wanted him to win the Royal Rumble. And then it's not him. He's not in the match. Everyone booed the living shit out of that match. The boos that let up for 5 minutes. Everyone boos. Dave Bautista wins the Rumble. Wins the whole thing.
Wow.
To WrestleMania. The boos didn't let up until everyone had left the stadium. Dave Bautista was spitting at people, flipping them off in the crowd and everything.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. So now I'm seeing him in all these movies. a really great actor and a really good guy. And my Letterboxd review is always like, every good Dave Bautista performance gets me one step closer to forgiving him for the 2014 Royal Rumble. I was like, I felt robbed. I'm like my favorite wrestler.
Dang. Wow. Well, I'm
Dang,
sorry
dude.
about that.
It's just funny because then like a few months later, I went and saw Guardians 6 times because I love them so much again. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he made up for it a little bit. He's earned my respect just a tad.
When he tricked Mantis into getting the motorcycle, like we're just going right back to the ship.
Yeah. Right over there. Yeah.
I loved the what was it? The nuts scene where she's like, maybe I want to go Sark Nut, and he's like, too bad they're gone. And then immediately eats one.
Oh my gosh. And then, I mean, they kind of go back and forth, like they each rag on each other because she makes that guy fall in love with him. And I thought that was so funny. He like just like rolls his eyes. He's like, oh my God. Like this has been done so many times before. Like, not again. Like, it's just so funny. And that actor was really good.
I'd love for that to be like a short or like a little thing to where they have like all of the people that are in love with Drax come together.
It's like a Guardians Valentine's Day or something.
And they have their own WrestleMania to determine who's gonna.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be so crazy.
I'm excited. Do you think we'll see Mantis again? Like, where do you guys think she's gonna go?
I kind of say no. I don't think we'll see her again. I gotta think the only one who's gonna maybe like we'll see her briefly. I think the only one who's gonna have a continuation of their story is Star-Lord.
Yeah,
it's the only one I could see have. Well, we were told we'll see him again, but
yeah,
I kind of think like maybe like we'll get like Rocket appears here and there. You know, maybe Mantis shows up, but like I don't think like we're gonna get like a full fleshed out storyline with her again. Might get like a check in.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad that just like it's over. Like I was really sad when they all split up. I was like, dang, like I don't know what the next Marvel movie that's coming out that I'm like kind of really excited for. Like this one. This felt like the last one of like a bygone era. I don't know. Marvel has been doing it for me lately. So
I've been saying like this was kind of like me bowing out. Like it started with Guardians 1 for me. I love that movie, and then these past few have just been so lifeless. And so Guardians 3, I'm like, this is the perfect time for me to say my farewells and just get everything in order.
Dang, dude.
Because I don't know, Jake, I might have told you this whenever we were at this party a month ago, but Daniel, I saw Ant-Man, right? I had like got called off work one day and I saw it in theaters. I was like, sure, I'll see Ant-Man. And I struggled when I first moved into this apartment with an ant infestation. And I defeated it.
Your bathroom has ants?
No, the kitchen. The kitchen.
No, I'm making a joke.
For this. Yeah, no, we don't have ants in this room. But it was such a mess. Like I probably killed 5,000 ants this year alone.
Wow.
It was brutal how many I killed. But
I think you did tell me about that.
I don't hear them. I don't hear them for months. I don't see an ant or anything. I'm like, we're good. Great. I see Ant-Man, I leave, I feel kind of bummed because I really like Ant-Man, and I'm like, dang, that wasn't that good. I get home and I see all the ants again. I've returned to my apartment right after my screening of Ant-Man. I like throw like my wallet onto the couch and I'm like, fuck Kevin Feige, fuck Ant-Man.
That was the last one. I love how like your perceptions of these movies like are so tied to just like external events that keep happening, like WrestleMania or like the Royal Rumble and like this.
Oh my God, dude.
So that's goofy, funny. But it's a happy way to live the life.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, one thing I did want to talk about was I'm a big like sci-fi fan. I love like all sci-fi movies, all sci-fi books. I really love how inventive and creative and just vibrant the cosmic side of Marvel feels.
I completely agree. And that was all James Gunn because before that, it was just I remember like I keep thinking back to the scene in Avengers when like Loki goes off world to talk to the Chitauri like Lord. That was just so bland, like looked like a set. And then Guardians came out and just changed everything. But like, yes, I completely agree. Sorry, you
No, you're good. It's just so cool. Like take Star Wars for example. I love Star Wars. I love it just as much as the next guy. But I want to like rip my hair out at so many like planets that the Mandalorian goes to, and it's just like another tribe in a desolate planet.
Yeah.
Like this time it's in a forest, this time it's in the desert, but like God forbid they go to a town like a planet that has an actual civilization.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just feels so much more unique that way.
What else? Oh yeah, all right. So back to Tank with I want to talk about Cosmo the dog also.
Oh
My
yeah,
roommate would be very
Cosmo.
upset. I liked Cosmo the dog in this, but like my roommate was so sad every time she was called bad dog. Like he just got so sad, and then that came around and Kraglin. Yeah, he also had a good arc, like with the whole whistle thing. But then he said good dog, so that was cool. Good job, Cosmo. I like that addition that they got more to do.
This is a bit of a funny story. After I got out of the movie, I got a call from work. They were like, "Hey, we have a dog in our office." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can you go feed the dog?" I'm like, "Sure." So I drive an hour out to the office.
Oh my
I get there,
gosh.
I feed the dog, and she's eating it. And like she stopped eating, so I went to like shake her bowl, and I go to like grab it, and she like bit my hand, and
Oh
I was
my
like, "Bad
gosh.
dog."
Uh,
I was like, "Fraggling right now." Like,
yeah.
I
You
was
start
like,
Dude, where are
whistling.
all these external events? What the
"I know, this keeps happening." But I was just like, I was disciplining the dog, just like saying "bad dog," and she's like bowing her head, and I'm like, now I feel really
Yeah.
bad.
Take it back.
I
Take
like,
it back.
I hear her Russian accent in my
Yeah.
head. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I feel like this
Oh,
animal
man.
or this movie's gonna help. Hopefully, people be kinder to all sorts of animals. Like it has to. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly.
I just love like the concept of Cosmo, just a Russian dog who was blasted into space and just
Yeah.
got. How did she get telekinesis? Do we know?
I don't know if she like went through some wormholes, maybe some
Yeah,
Fantastic Four like
probably.
thing. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
It's absolutely explained in the comics, but we didn't need that
Yeah.
in the movie. But
Yeah.
I thought
just
it was funny. Like I don't know why, but like when she like in the very beginning is like making fun of Kraglin and like concentrates and uses her abilities to like make the rock move around. I looked like she was like really maybe I just read it wrong, but it looked like she was like really concentrating hard to make just that small pebble. So I was like, okay, her power level is like not that crazy. And then like 2 days later, she's like holding the two ships together. I was like, what? When did that happen?
Cosmo's tight.
Yeah.
Cosmo was awesome.
Was there anything you guys like didn't like about this? I'm just curious.
Not gonna lie, I still liked it, but it was kind of weird when Gamora out of nowhere just uncalled for started peeling off the evolutionary's mask.
Oh.
Like, why are you doing that? Like, that's kind of.
I will say, if I saw one of the flaps dangling, peeling it off, I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I saw like a thing on a podcast the other day. It was talking about Bird Box that Sandra
Was
Bullock.
it Sandra Bullock? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, if news came out that there was a monster that if you looked at it would kill you, I'd be so dead because I'd be like, maybe just like a peek won't hurt. Like, I'm like way too. I'm like I have to know, so I would absolutely peel that off.
Gotcha. So you wouldn't do well with Medusa.
And also, I just thought about something.
Yeah.
So they didn't kill the High Evolutionary because, like,
No.
I'm one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's why yada yada yada. But like, the ship still blew up.
Yeah. So like,
So they indirectly didn't they still?
it's like in Batman Begins where he's like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you, and he flies out of the subway.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even darker to not like kill him right then and there. They're like, yeah, we'll just leave him to suffer until he dies.
To suffocate in space.
Yeah, literally. That's what I was
Yeah,
saying. Like,
like,
that's kind of like
cool.
morbid if you think about it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. What is there anything you didn't like, Pat?
I gotta like really think. It just like it didn't really like the first one. I think the first one was better than the third.
Yeah.
I think the third was better than the second, and I think the reason why is
Okay.
because just kind of like the individual characteristics interacting and sort of eventually becoming a family was just a much fluently and better told story.
Yeah.
But third, where they're already established, and it's them just kind of like getting over these hurdles and kind of wrapping up their story. It wasn't as I keep saying fluid, but it wasn't as like connected. If you ask me, like a lot of the time, it kind of jumped around a bit. Like all of a sudden, you're in a rocket flashback, and then you're back in the main story, and it's like it wasn't like a bad thing per se, but it wasn't done as well as in the first one was.
Right. I get that. I feel like
I can agree to that.
I've heard some people. I've talked to only two people like in person besides my roommates, but two people in person that I didn't see the movie with, like two of my coworkers, and they both said they didn't like it. I was really surprised. And like the one guy, I was like, "What didn't you like about it?" And like he is just kind of like an awkward guy, and he was just like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Well, like specifically, like what didn't you like?" But he's like, "I don't know, I just didn't like it," and he just kind of like left. And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not taking that that criticism.
That's
Like,
not
he
a-
didn't like
yeah.
it. And then
Cool.
my other buddy that he said that it's feel like it dragged on a bit and like didn't enjoy like the pacing of it too much. And I was like, I can maybe see that, but
I can maybe see that because like the past two Guardians movies have like jokes every couple minutes that like kind of keep you engaged, whereas this one was more focused on the character rather than the humor.
yeah,
So it doesn't feel quite as, I guess, witty, and like it's not just like bam, bam, bam. Like it was a
Right.
much more emotionally driven story, and as long as you're along for that ride, it's a very, very good movie. But if you're there for the jokes, it's not quite the same.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to what you said about like the design of space and just like how unique it is from Star Wars. I never really thought about that comparison, but that is true. But like I really liked the like freaking meat planet, like the organic planet. I really liked just that whole design, and also inside like the like sorting system they had, like the organic fleshy like file cabinet. I thought that was really cool, like when it would like get the ball to come down. Like I really liked that like design, just all of that. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. And that was Ratcatcher too from the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
not sure. Yeah, she played that person because I remember she was cast, and everyone kept predicting she was going to be like this one specific character. I forget who it was, but James Gunn kept being like, "No, she's just in the movie. She's not playing like any important character." And everyone's like, "No,
Yeah.
no."
Yeah. I think this is also just interesting, just stepping outside the movie again. Like, this is like a weird movie to come out because it's like good for Marvel that they have another hit, but the guy who made it a hit is now going to run DC. So this is basically like one ad for DC, which is like kind of weird. Like, this gives me a lot of hope for DC, seeing that James Gunn, because I mean, I know James Gunn can do like dramatic moments, but the other two, like you said just now, Pat, were like really more comedy centric, like central, and a lot of like wits and jokes. And this one, like when Rocket died, I like felt that like he died and then like came back, but like when Peter Quill like freaking screamed out, I was like, holy crap. Like it proved to me again that like James Gunn can do deep emotional moments as well. And so like I'm excited for DC. It's just like a weird movie. Like Marvel wants it to do well, but like now he's going to run DC. So like it gives me hope for DC, but like it's a weird position to be in, I feel like.
It really is. Like, it's kind of sad when the one movie that you have come out in the past 2 years that is like widely regarded as really good is written and directed by the guy who is now running your competition,
your biggest competitor. Yeah. Yeah, very true.
I think about it in a different perspective.
Yeah,
Because if anything, it's just raising the bar. If you think about it, like if you know you have somebody who's able to lead teams and be able to produce a product that's to that tier, right? That everyone can regard as like being like top tier. I think it's going to be pushing other people to now again try to achieve that as well, if not better.
I hope so, and I really hope so. I'm just worried that Marvel is not going to meet that bar, and I really hope they do. But their past track record, the past 2 years, like Pat said, like hasn't given me much hope. But I really
I totally agree
with you, and I hope that raises the bar.
Oh man, and how Blade is like just going through a developmental mess right now.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good. What do you guys think about the Marvels? That's the next one coming up.
Yeah. I think the concept is interesting.
Yeah.
The trailer doesn't look too bad, but I'm also like, I don't know. Green Lantern trailer number 2 was really good, and that movie sucked. So like, I don't trust trailers.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm like really looking forward to Marvel wise is the X-Men. And the Fantastic Four.
I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3. I hope that's good. Especially since they've opened the door to F-bombs. Like that's, you know.
Like, oh yeah.
I think the last thing I want to talk about this movie was the last post-credit scene, the new Guardians. Do you think that'll lead to anything?
Maybe, because when I think I saw a tweet from James Gunn that was like, this is like the last of this iteration of the Guardians. Like, you'll never see this group together again. So I really think it's definitely possible for them to keep going with like a new franchise. Yeah. And it's just like, especially because like that one little girl just has powers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe like we'll find out what that means. Like, we didn't need to.
I'm pretty sure she's from the comics. She might be from like in the comics original run of the Guardians, but I could be totally wrong on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder who's gonna direct that. Those are huge shoes to fill.
The only person. It's you. You got it. I was gonna say, if they get like Edgar Wright, I think Edgar Wright could like really kind of capture that like zany feel but in a different way.
That would be cool after the Ant-Man fiasco and everything.
Okay, maybe not then. I forgot he was on Ant-Man originally.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a few rankings I want to hear you guys talk about. So we ranked the villains. Did we rank? I want you guys to rank the 3 Guardians movies, like just themselves, not the villains, but just the movies overall. I think you guys might have mentioned it before. Like,
yeah,
I think we can all agree 1, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait. Okay. Wait. Sorry. 1, 3, 2. Okay. I don't think 2 was bad. I think 2.
I don't think it was bad.
I don't know.
I don't think it was bad. It was good, but it's just not as good as the other ones.
Yeah.
I think because they split up the team, so I might have to default at points on that. But like, it was still really good. But yeah, I think 1, 3, 2 sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's the way I described it was like 1 is amazing, 2 is good, 3 is great. You know, it's different variations of quality.
I think 1 also because it was such a shock factor, like it wasn't supposed to do well, and like everyone kind of wrote it off. Also gives it so much cred, like it wasn't supposed to work.
I mean, also just the fact that it was like a whole new window into this, not only in the Marvel, like that whole side of the little universe, but like it was just the way it was done was completely different than anything else before at that time. So
yeah, okay, but now with the conclusion of Guardians 3, we now have a bunch of trilogies in another trilogy added to the MCU. So I want you to rank the MCU trilogies. What is your? I'm gonna go least favorite to favorite. What is your ranking of the MCU trilogies?
What should we do with like the Avengers and Thor? Because there were
I think we can exclude it. Let's say solo trilogies, like solo movie trilogies, and for Thor, just don't include Thor 4.
The 4.
Oh,
okay. 4.
And so we're just completely disregarding Avengers then in this case.
Yeah, so it's just the players in this list are Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, Guardians is 1 for me.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I have my kind of ranking, I think.
Yeah, here
you go and then you bring us your logic.
Okay, yeah. I'll go bottom to top. So my least favorite, I think, is gonna be Ant-Man. It's nothing against Ant-Man. I think the first one was decent and it was a good heist movie. The others are better, and I didn't like Ant-Man 3 that much. Ant-Man 2 was okay. My next one, it pains me to do this, but I might put... Oh my gosh, this is really tough.
I thought you said you already had your list.
No, I didn't.
Still contemplating.
It's between Iron Man and Thor. I think I'm going to say Thor, just because Thor 2 brings it down a lot. Thor 3 carries so hard that I have to give it cred, and it's like a big gap between Ant-Man and Thor, okay? Just know that. But like the first one is decent. It was my first makeout movie, so I'm trying to like exclude that from my judgment, but it is elevating it a bit for me. But Thor 2 just like wasn't great. And then Thor 3 carried hard. But so my next one then I'm going to say Iron Man. It's not like it's a solid trilogy. I think Iron Man 1 carries that one a lot. Iron Man 2 was okay. I actually like Iron Man 3 also. I know a lot of people don't, but I really like Iron Man 3. So
I think Iron Man 3 is like top 5 MCU movies.
Really?
I love that movie. Love that movie. I've loved that movie since I saw it. That is one of my favorite. I rewatched it a year ago, and my review on Letterboxd was just like, if you don't think this is peak MCU, you're objectively wrong. That movie is so good.
I think it gets a lot of undeserved hate, so I agree with you. So my number 3, I think I'm going to say Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is the most, but before Guardians, like I think it's the most solid trilogy we've had, like where like they're all really good. Like I think it's a good Spider-Man story. I think just because I know there's been so many other Spider-Man stories before it, and like the Tobey, like I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, so I think knowing that is what it could have been, and like Tom Holland was just like slightly a tier below in my mind, so I think that's why I'm putting it here. But it's still really good. I just love overall all 3 of them were so solid. Tom Holland's great. Then my next one is Captain America, just because I love The Winter Soldier and Civil War so much, and Cap 1 like is still really good in my mind. Like it's just like a good movie, and then the other 2 were just like great movies. So like I forget, and Captain America is like my favorite MCU character, so that elevates it as well. And The Winter Soldier is awesome for Russo brothers. And then I think my number 1, I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy. Honestly, that it's like it's the best collection. They're all so good. I think But it's really close between 1 and 2, honestly.
I have my ranking,
Yeah.
and it's not
Interesting.
It's pretty similar to yours, Jake.
Wait, can you
Not gonna
go
lie.
bottom to top? Is that cool?
Bottom top? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man's bottom.
Yeah.
I love Ant-Man 1 and 2. I know that's like a hot take because when I saw Ant-Man 2, it was just such a good experience with my friends.
Yeah.
And we still to this day like talk about the scene where he shrunk down in like the kid's sweatshirt and the guy goes, "Hey, do you have a hall pass?" And then the music just like changed this like goofy synth as he just hobbles away. We were like crying in the theater laughing at that. Like that was just such a I love Ant-Man 2, but the third one, you guys know I don't like. You guys know my reasoning. I already said, but
because you're ant infestation.
the ant infestation. Next, I'm putting Thor. Much like Jake, Thor 1 I thought was really boring. I liked it more than I thought on a rewatch last year.
Yeah.
But,
you didn't like the Dutch angles? Come on.
Oh yeah, right. That's directed by Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter. So that blew my mind when I found that out. Thor 2, I already forget what happened. Like I can't tell you a single thing about that. Then after Thor is Spider-Man.
Oh,
I
okay.
really liked Homecoming. I thought Far From Home was a lot of fun. Far From Home, right?
Yeah,
Far From Home. No Way. No,
it's
No Way Home's the third one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I really like No Way Home. I really don't like Far From Home.
Okay.
I really don't. Whenever I watched it again, I was like, Peter doesn't do anything. Okay. Everyone kind of tells him what to do, and then he just like follows like what they do. Like
me a little bit. Even
like at the end, whenever he is going to fight Mysterio, he has to like get a pep talk from Happy, and it's like, Peter, you can make you're an adult. No, he's not an adult, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's just with great power comes great responsibility, but first you have to check with a supervised adult. Like, okay, like, come on.
Yeah, I like Mysterio in that one though. That
I do like
his
Mysterio.
Points.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, for me,
I really do like Jake Gyllenhaal. And then I'm putting Iron Man. I don't like the first one as much as people.
Really?
Often do. I think the movie kind of really drops after the cave scenes.
Okay.
The cave moments are so well done.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I still think it's like a 4 out of 5 movie. Like I really like it.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 2, it's fine. And then Iron Man 3, I will fight to the death. Yeah. I love that movie. Then I'm having Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
First one's good. Second one took me 23 years to watch.
What?
I went to see it on a date with this girl in middle school. But this guy we knew kind of third wheeled us. So the whole time her and I just talked and I didn't pay attention. And then last year I like sat down and actually watched it. And I was like, oh
my god,
this is a really good movie.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
My favorite one. That's
I was like, oh wow, all right. Brothers know what's up. And then Civil War is really good. And then Guardians of the Galaxy is third. Because I just feel like, I don't know, I love James Gunn. I love Slither. This horror movie, I really love that movie. Yeah. I just think he's just, I don't know, a lot of his characters just feel alive and are just fun.
Yeah. All right, Daniel,
you've had a couple minutes to come up with the ranking.
So you two have like really similar lists, except for what, the Iron Man and Spider-Man?
Iron Man and Spider-Man switched.
I think that's the only one switched.
I agree with Pat. I was actually before Pat even said, I was like, you know what? I actually put Spider-Man below. It's pretty much the same thing.
You might have swayed me, honestly.
Because
I also am sorry. I was thinking, you talk about sway, but like I might switch. Cap and like Guardians are close to me. Like it could flip flop depending on the day, like depending which one I've watched last. I think because I just watched Guardians, I'm thinking that. But like if I watch Cap, it might flip flop. But yeah, sorry, Daniel, you were saying.
Agree.
But no. So I totally get that too. I feel like I'm also in the same boat with that as well. But it's because they're both just high quality, like all throughout.
Yeah,
like the top two there. But when it comes to like Spider-Man, I don't know. Like I like Tom Holland's portrayal. Like I think he does a good job with the character. But again, I totally agree with Pat, where it's just like he's not the one taking charge of like doing his stuff. He was more so in Homecoming when he's like trying to prove himself to Tony. But like
that might be the next trilogy. Like I feel like
that's what I'm excited for.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Now that he's like actually on his own.
But everything now up until then, has been kind of like, we get sad Peter, and everybody's like, I'm gonna see him depressed.
I wish I had someone who loved me as much as everyone in humanity loves when Peter Parker's depressed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my god. But like, no, in all sincerity, like, that's when you get to see, like, character of Peter Parker, not even just Spider-Man, but Peter Parker, have to, like, really question and fight with himself and have to go and determine, like, what is the right course of action.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what is going to be seen a lot more in future films, but I don't think we really saw that to its potential in the 3 we've already got. So with that said, I think the Iron Man movies are better. It's very interesting to see that you didn't like Iron Man 1 that much, Pat.
It's not that I don't like it. I feel like me saying I don't like it is a bit of hyperbole on my part.
I don't like it.
It's that if this is where, like, the line sits of, like, it's okay, like, it's a completely, like, 50-50 good bad. I think the cave scene, like, everything in the cave, like, the beginning of the movie is up here, and then I think the rest of the movie's, like, here. Like, I still think it's good.
Okay, so you think it's still good.
Like, I still think it's good. I just think the quality really drops after he leaves the cave. Yeah,
I feel that. I can understand that. I can get that.
Yeah, I'm a dramatic guy, so I'm like, Iron Man 1's not good. I'm different.
There weren't enough ants in my apartment to sway me otherwise.
I literally, you can see I don't know if you guys use Letterboxd. I keep bringing it up, but on my review, on my, like, diary in Letterboxd, you could see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, 2 out of 5 stars, and it's just like, I'm so tired. I'm so very, very tired. And then, like, 3 minutes later, you see it drops down to 1, and I'm like, this movie sucks. It's not their fault either. It's the worst part, but.
No, Kevin Feige saw that review, and then he rushed back to your apartment and just dropped off.
He called Ant-Man on you, dude.
Kevin Feige shows up, like, in a gas mask, puts one on me. He's like, we're solving this together.
Oh my god!
No, I was saying Kevin Feige's like the one who dropped off. He saw your review, and then before you got home, we came in and dropped off the ants. This will teach him.
Yeah, this will show him.
Oh man.
My, like, final wrap up thoughts is I feel like this felt like the old MCU that I, like, appreciated, but it felt like the closing of a chapter. Like, I'm really sad that it's done, but I'm glad that we got it. It was like a good finale to this era, like a very cool story. Like, Marvel itself has, like, a great story. Like, I was like at the MCU, like, getting started, like, it was this bankrupt company that wasn't supposed to work and had so many doubters and haters. And then it's, like, really cool that they were able to come together, make Iron Man, and start building this franchise. And then within that, Guardians was, like, even more of, like, something that wasn't supposed to work, and then it really worked. So it's cool, the underdog story, and it all came together, and I'm sad that it's done, but happy that it happened.
The group of renegades coming together against all odds and overcoming it. Like,
yeah,
that's what the movie's about. It's what actually happened.
Yeah,
very, very fitting end.
Who knows? Might get a Zorg nut on the way.
Might get a Zorg nut.
You guys have any other final thoughts on Guardians?
It was a very fitting end of the story. They finished the story, and it's time to move on. Bigger and better things. Yeah. I don't know. I really liked it. Sorry. I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So glad that we finally got an MCU movie where the main character didn't have a struggle where they wanted to kill the villain, but whenever they get a chance to, they're like, no, I'm better than that. They still kind of had that with Rocket, but it wasn't Rocket, like, being like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. Never mind. Like,
never mind.
I got, that's just, like, my biggest MCU pet peeve. It's just like that trope, but it felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel, wrap up thoughts?
Family.
Okay.
I don't know what, but it was a really good movie, man. It was a really good time. I think that's something that through it all that's a vibe that I feel like we need to get back into for the future of the MCU and even DC. It's just movies that genuinely feel good to watch.
All right. That's our Guardians spoiler review and reaction. Pat, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you hopping on, being our Guardians expert. Do you have anything you'd like to plug or promote before you head out?
Yeah, you know what? Sure. Check me out on TikTok at Rad Catholic Dad. I make goofy things there occasionally.
Yeah.
You might have seen a few of them yourself.
The Minion one. I saw the Minion one. Get scared during Fright Night.
Jenna Ortega one's my biggest one. I really hate that one. But
oh, really?
It blew up so much. So I'm like, It's like Jenna Ortega at the Wednesday premiere, and she goes, "I'm gonna flash somebody, I swear to God," and then it just cuts to me, and all my friends are holding me back, and I'm like, "Please!" But, after I was like, I kind of don't like that. I'll just take it down. And I saw it had like 3 million views at that point, and I was like, okay, maybe not. The numbers got to my head, but yeah, check me out on TikTok. I don't have anything else to plug. I mean, go to YouTube, Partrick. I'm thinking about uploading stuff there soon. I want to make documentary content. You can cut this out. That's just me talking.
No, that's cool.
Shit, but
what do you make? What do you make documentary content about?
I'm reading this book right now. It's called Ringmaster: Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. It's the guy who owns the WWE, and he's the biggest scumbag on planet Earth. Like,
really?
One of the worst humans alive. Actually, a vehemently awful man. Absolutely vile. I hate him so much with every fiber of my being. And they wanted to make a biopic about his life with Bradley Cooper playing him, and he actually got the production shut down. He holds so much power in America because he's such a bad person, but he keeps it so buried that I'm like, I kind of just want to make like a YouTube doc, just kind of highlighting like here's how much this guy sucks.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Pat. Yeah, we'll see you next time where we have you on for either Guardians
4.
Guardians 4 or like Lord of the Rings 12, whatever comes out next. I don't know.
See you around. Thanks for having me, guys.
Boosh, here we are. Next section. Thank you again, Pat. Please, everyone, check out his links. Will all be in the description. Please check him out. He's such a cool dude. And actually, I'm really excited to see that like YouTube documentary.
Yeah, dude, I had no idea he was doing that. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right, you ready to jump into? We kind of did a bunch of rankings, so you just ready to jump into patron shoutouts?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Cue the Epic Stars music. Boosh got patron Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. This gets you the shout out. If you'd like to support us over on Patreon, link is down in the description. You get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you seriously, sincerely, for Patreon supporters. Ready to jump into cool comments?
Yeah. Who's saying stuff about us this time?
So, Josh McIntyre on our last episode on our Minecraft mods actually like saw Guardians of the Galaxy like really early, I guess. They said Guardians of the Galaxy 3 episode soon, ? It was such an emotional movie that I really loved. Ending was cool. Not sure how it would be watching it a second or third time. Thought I'd get my thoughts in before the episode, lol. So I don't know. I think Josh might be in Australia. So maybe when he saw it Wednesday, where was it Thursday their time maybe? So maybe that's how he saw it early, or maybe just came out earlier wherever he lives. But he like posted that on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was like, "What? How have you seen the movie?" That's cool. I like saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was such an emotion. I was like, "What? Spoilers now!" But no, he didn't, or they didn't spoil it, which I appreciate. That's cool that you saw it early. But yeah, that was our thoughts. I agree that like it was an emotional movie that I also really loved. I haven't seen it a second, third time. Like I want to see it a second or third time. Like I'm not sure how it'd be different.
It's actually just James Gunn like commenting on our stuff as Cuckleberry Finn.
Oh my gosh, that was a fun
yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, but thanks for the comment, Josh.
Yeah.
Ready to jump into the introduction?
Yeah. Tell me when.
When?
We just talked about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you seriously, sincerely for listening. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.